Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hip Senior Podcast, where we bring the world of senior citizen literature to your fingertips. We're your one stop source for discovering the latest and greatest books catering to seniors, along with exclusive interviews with talented authors such as Lori Aden and Sheila Parsley today as our guests. We cover everything from retirement planning, caregiving, hobbies, personal growth. We've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and join us as we dive into the fascinating world of senior citizen literature. Let's get started. Lori and Sheila, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here. We are talking about your books today. You have Grandma's Acting Funny and Grandpa's Acting Funny. And I know the two of you worked on this together. And so, between the two of you, tell us why you wrote this book, how you came up with the idea.
Okay, Lori had written a book about caregivers and her journey, or our journey, dealing with our mom with Alzheimer's. And we were like, what else can we do? Who else can we help? And there wasn't very many books out there to help children understand what was going on with Alzheimer's and their grandparents who have it. And so we thought, let's do that. Let's make a book for the children. And when we were looking at it, we didn't see very many delve into specifics, and like there's different stages and things like that. And so we decided to make ours into a series of 3 books that dealt with the different stages of Alzheimer's. Because if you try and put all that information into one, it'd be too big for a children's book.
Right.
So that's basically how we got it started. We chose to do a dinosaur family or a dragon family because every family is different. No family is exactly the same. And so we didn't want to have anyone feel left out. And so we just chose something that we enjoy, which we all like dragons. And so we're like, okay, let's make a fun little dragon family to represent our family and the journey that we took in the caring for our grandmother.
We're very
for our mom and grandmother.
Yeah, I love the artwork on it. I think it's eye-catching. I think children are just going to be like, hey, I want to read this book regardless of what the subject matter is. But it's important for children to understand why grandma and grandpa are acting funny. One minute they could be wanting a hug from you, and the next minute they may not know who you are.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. So I'm sure that children get very confused as to the shift in attitude from the person that they used to know was because that can change on a daily basis too. And it can change very quickly. So one minute they're used to going to grandma's house and getting hugs and kisses. And the next minute they're like, who in the world are you?
Exactly. And we made sure in the book that we let a child know it's okay to get upset or be sad. And our illustrator, Connie Soderski, was perfect with capturing faces and just emotions for some of the different things that they really could feel when grandma doesn't remember their name or doesn't know who they are or yells at them, because that's very possible that it'll happen. The first time mom yelled at me, I broke my heart. I had to go out to the car and cry when I'm an adult. So we made sure that a child knew it was okay to feel that.
So there's 3 books for each. So there's grandma and grandpa, they're separate. And then there's 3 books for each grandma and grandpa.
So the books are basically the same. I had a friend say, I wish you had done one for grandpa. And so basically we did the Grandma's Acting Funny first because our mom is who went through the journey. And then we just went ahead and made a copy of the books, but tweaked it a little bit, changed out a scene here or there so that it's a grandpa version. So families can choose which one is best for their dynamics. Is it their grandma or their grandma? Now we couldn't go into the Nana and Mamas, and there's just too many different ways. So just a generic grandma or grandpa.
Nice. So are you working on any more books in that line, like covering behavior type stuff with different groups? Or
now we're thinking of doing an activity book. We've started building an activity book for kids. That's the next thing that we're journeying down. We've got some ideas floating around. We're trying to decide what direction is the best way to go. We've had people say, what about other disorders and things? So it's a good idea too, but we definitely have to do more research on those kind of things. We've had the most experience with Alzheimer's. So
I consider doing maybe older kids. Ours, the ones we did, were for the younger kids. Some of the older ones, these books are a little bit too young for them. So we considered doing that too. So we may journey in that direction. Like I said, we're trying to figure out which one we're going to do next. But the activities book is the next one that we're working on. And it actually could be something that someone with Alzheimer's would enjoy doing too, not just the.
I personally think you should do one like for teenagers. Emotions in teenagers are enough by themselves, by itself, but then trying to navigate. A lot of people, when they have Alzheimer's, they're living with family members or stuff also. And it's hard for them to understand. So maybe like a book that's written in language that a teenager can understand, because so many Alzheimer's books are geared towards adults reading it and they understand, have more experience. So I think that you should, your next time, maybe geared towards like teenagers, because their emotions are one way or the other all the time anyway. So maybe like gearing something that they can read that isn't languaged, as in the lack of a better word, for adults, something that a teenager but not a child, because it's hard to understand like how to handle being around somebody with dementia when you're that age. You're smart enough, you're old enough to know what's going on, but you still don't know like how to interact or the right things that you think you should say or stuff like that. So maybe that would be a good avenue.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
All right. I hope everybody will go over and purchase their books. It's Grandma's Acting Funny and Grandpa's Acting Funny. And if you have grandma and grandpa and they're both suffering from dementia and kids, buy both. I'll probably cut that out. All right, Lori and Sheila, thank you so much for letting us know about your books. And I wish you very much success on it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.